want to talk to today is the families that maybe you just discovered Waldorf in the last month, and you've got a fourth grader and you're like, I want to start this now. This is amazing. This calls to me. This has been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And, I want to start today. Like, what can I do to start right now? And so those are the moms I'm talking to. I'm not talking, if you have a 4-year-old, this video isn't for you. If you have a 5-year-old, still not for you. If you have a child that's turning 7 before the end of March, this video is for you. And anybody that's got kids above that. So otherwise, and I'm not saying you can't watch. You can watch. But if you've got younger children, really these thoughts and ideas that I'm putting out there are not ones that will affect you. We're talking about parents that are moving from one educational model to another. Maybe they're pulling their kids out of school because that just was not what they thought it was going to be. It was a bad idea, and so they're pulling them out and they're bringing them home. Maybe they had their kids in a Waldorf school and they're bringing them home. Mainstream school, it does not matter. Those are the parents that we're talking to right now. We're talking to parents that want to start schooling like today. What can they do today to get started on that path? And so that's kind of a hard question to answer, because in Waldorf, you see, we have all of these beautiful things. We have all this artwork. We have all of these pieces, all this music and everything that comes together to sort of make those main lessons. And so it can feel extremely daunting and overwhelming when you're starting. And so I would absolutely take a deep breath, and I would consider working with a consultant, or at the very least, you want to have a curriculum for this first year. Don't try to build it on your own the first year out. I think that will, I think that building your own curriculum is fabulous. Fabulous. I wrote a course on building your own curriculum. I don't think that that's what you want to do when you're coming to Waldorf for the first time. I think when you're coming for the first time, you definitely want to have some hand-holding. And so if you're brand new, I would consider, a curriculum provider that allows you to have some mentoring. And we have a program that is a mentoring and sort of homeschool training program called Thinking, Feeling, Willing. That teaches you everything. All the art, everything from day one, all around. So we have a program that does that. And but I'm not the only curriculum writer out there, and there are others that also have consulting. Definitely, I will say that ours is the most reasonably priced, but you need to shop around to find the voice that you like and that you click with, because that will make your journey better. So you should ask questions like, how much of your time do I get? How much, how available are you to me if I have questions? Those are the kinds of questions you want to ask. So once you found that curriculum, you definitely want to read it cover to cover. Like if you find a curriculum today and you want to start next Monday, and that's sort of what I would do. I would give yourself at least a week. You sort of want to de-school your kids a little bit anyway. Bring them home if they've been in a public school setting. Have a little bit of fun. If you've been homeschooling with another method and you're switching over, I would still do a little bit of de-schooling, because if you've been doing a workbook approach or an approach where they've been in an online school, you're going to have a fair amount of changeover that you're going to be doing. So take the week and read your curriculum cover to cover. Make sure you read the front end. I have a lot of moms that just skip to I'm just gonna skip to the lessons. Don't do that. I write the front end of the curriculum for a reason. Read it. Usually it's only about 60 pages. Read it. So if you're purchasing online, you've got a digital copy, I would read it cover to cover. And once you have read it through cover to cover, then you can start formulating how you're going to work this in. You, again, don't get overwhelmed. If you've got questions and you're using our curriculum, I am very available. You can always email me, melisa@waldorfessentials.com, or you can PM me here on Facebook. I am always available to answer questions for people that are working with our work, and even for those who aren't and have questions and just want to get started. So that's sort of the first step. You want to find that curriculum and you want to get reading, and then you want to formulate your next step. And that next step is going to look different depending on where you are. If you're an incredibly artistic individual, I think you'll pick up the Waldorf art form very fast. If you're not, if you're more like I was in the beginning, then it might be like, because I had a seventh grade teacher tell me that it was a good thing I wanted to be a lawyer because I was never going to make it in the art world. And I was, you don't ever tell that to a kid. But it absolutely informed what I thought I could do later on. And so if you're in that place, it might take you a little bit. And I would definitely, where generally the art lesson is part of the main lesson, you're going to want to weave that in as you get more experience. So if you're starting, here we are at the end of October. If you're starting October and you've got November, December, and those are kind of crazy months, especially December, then you might want to give yourself a little leeway and you might say, all right, I'm going to learn how to wet on wet watercolor during the month of November. And then in December, I'm going to bring it to my kids. And then in January, I'm going to integrate it into our lessons. Or you might say, I would like to bring in modeling. Modeling seems like it should be easy. So I'm going to practice that in November. We're going to practice it as a family in December. And then in January, I'm going to bring it into our lessons. So that's really how you want to, if you're brand new, that's really how you want to bring in all of those artistic pieces. Because part of the main lesson, when you're working with them at home, is that art portion. And you can't give them what you don't have. So you got to gain it first. And that's okay that it takes you time. So like for instance, in our curriculum where it says on day 1, you bring the information. On day 2, and then you do some artwork from it. So generally that would be artwork that you've done that you're then bringing them the art lesson. But in the very beginning, you don't have that opportunity. So in the very beginning, they are drawing whatever it is that they want. Or you're, even if they're stick people, you're bringing them something, something collaborative together. And that will help you as you sort of start this journey. But definitely be serious about it. You know, if you want to come down this Waldorf road, you got to get in both feet. You can't just dip your toe in because that will just frustrate you and overwhelm you at every turn. So you have to decide, all right, I'm at least going to stick my whole foot in here. And then hopefully in the next little bit, my other foot will get here with me. But by sticking your whole foot in there, you've got to do more than read the curriculum. You've got to move on to that next step, which is some self-development. And that is often in the artistic place. And it's going to bring up some things that you might go, wait a minute, I have some hangups here that I didn't know I had. So that's going to bring the inner work element into it. So I would definitely say that be prepared for that. Moms come to me and they're trying to do both things at the same time. Their rhythm's all chaotic and out of whack. And they're trying to start homeschooling. I say, all right, let's look at what you've already got in place. Hopefully you're going to bed at the same time. And if not, tonight is a great time to start. Start tonight. Everybody in bed, 8 o'clock. Everybody, including yourself. At least your house is quiet and dark. Excuse me. Your house is quiet and dark by 8 o'clock. And yes, I'm not kidding. 8 o'clock. And that way, and even if, because, you know, I've got teenagers, even if they're in their room reading, but they're in their room, the house is closed down, the kitchen is closed down. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, crap, we're not done with dinner until 8 o'clock, then you got to back it on up. Figure out what time you have to eat dinner so your kitchen can be clean. So that's all part of rhythm. It's all part of sort of figuring out where your anchor points are, because those anchor points are sleep and meals generally. That's a good place to start. So if you can get your meals in a regular place and bedtime in a regular place and you're rising in a regular place, that is a perfect start to your rhythm. And I'm a huge advocate of getting up before your kids. And I know it's harder if you've got littler ones that want to follow you out. It gets easier. Get in the good habit of maybe having your laptop or your smartphone by your bed. Sit up in bed if you've got a nursling that you still have to nurse before you get up. There are things you can do while you're sitting there in that bed. A lot of things. You can meditate. You can plan out your day. You can read emails on your phone. You can listen to podcasts. There's so many things you can be doing while you're laying there in bed. Don't let that little person be your excuse. Let them be your reason for sort of getting up and getting moving. And if you need help with that, just drop me a note and yell at me if you want, but let me help you, because I have 5 kids and I get it. Some of them slept beautifully. Some of them not so much. So I understand. I've walked the walk that you're walking. So once you sort of get that rhythm piece in place, at least you're working on those anchor points, then you can add in getting schooling in the morning. You can add in activities in the afternoon. You can add in maybe going to the library or a museum one day a week. You can add those things into your rhythm once you get those anchor points set. So, with those anchor points, then also comes, oh no, I have to figure out what I'm making. So you might have to sit down and make a menu. Making a menu is a huge help, especially when you have more than one child. Even when it's just, yeah, it's always a huge help. And here, we just moved. My menu is a mess. It's a mess. And so we're definitely more chaotic than we normally are. My husband's like, honey, we gotta get this under control. Yep, we do. So today is the first day of new menu, and everybody, falling into line with that. And sometimes when you have older kids, like I said, I have teenagers, they sort of have their own idea about the menu. So I have given them options. You are welcome to help us make the menu. And if you do that, then you get a say in what we're eating. Otherwise, you get to eat what everybody else is eating. And no, you cannot make yourself a turkey sandwich at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not happening. Sorry. Kitchen is locked up. Otherwise, you could have the whatever snack we've got together. If you don't want to help plan it, then you don't get to make your own deal until you're buying your own groceries. So yeah, I'm that kind of mom. So, you want to have those components together, your meals together, you're working on your rhythm, and you're folding in the curriculum part of it. And I know that seems really overwhelming, but take a deep breath and really take your time to get into it. Do not jump into, oh, I'm going to start this tomorrow, and I'm just going to head on, because that rarely works. It's if the light that burns brightest often burns out the fastest. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You don't want to have burnout. You want to take your time and really step into this sort of as you can, as it layers in. And it's a lot of layering. So, don't be stressed out about festivals that are coming up. Don't be stressed out about anything like that, because you can always layer it in next year. And you've got the gift of time. So don't stress yourself out thinking that you don't. So hopefully that will get you started. If you are brand new, you just found out about Waldorf. If you're not sure about grade placement, please drop me a note again, and I can help you with grade placement. We can make sure that you are purchasing the right curriculum for your age, and that you're getting busy in the right direction. So anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. It is going to be a beautiful day in San Diego. I'm going to shake whatever frog is in my throat, and we're going to have a great day.